Many of you have asked the question, what do we need in our packs? Well, today I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to put in your backpack for a backcountry hunt. Now, before we dive into it, I want to tell you something. This is a general guideline for when you're packing your pack and you're concerned about weight. You want to keep your pack at 20% of your body weight or less. So for example, if you're a 200-pound guy, you want to be at 40 pounds or less in your pack weight. Now obviously, when you kill an animal and you're packing it back out, it's going to be way over 20%, but those are your anomalies. When you're just packing camp into the backcountry, you want to keep it at 20% of your body weight or less. There are caveats to that. In areas where there's low water, you're going to have to pack in all your water. We had that situation last year. Packs were extremely heavy. But that's the way it is when you're hunting in midsummer and it's 100 degrees. So keep that in mind when you're buying your gear. There are certain items that tend to take up a lot of your weight, and you can shave down weight on that. And also keep in mind, if you're just starting out, you're new to hunting, you're getting your gear together, this stuff can get really expensive. So a lot of your really lightweight, your carbon, your ultralight hunting gear, it's going to cost a lot of money. Now, you can kind of meet in the middle in terms of price and weight. So let's dive right in. Now let's go over a couple of basics before we get into the specific items of gear here. It's California law that you have to have your license and your tag on you at all times. So if you tend to keep your license and tag in your pack, or if you're just starting out, you want to create a good habit, always keep it on your person. That's the law. So what I like to do is I always have my Bino Harness on me, so I'll put it in a pocket in my Bino Harness. So if I drop my pack and I go on a stalk, I know my tag's always on me, so I keep a little bag with my tag, my license, and a pen to fill it out, and a little zip tie to put it around an antler. So first things first, trekking poles. You're going to want to get a good set of trekking poles. They will save your life. If you get in a tough situation where you have mud or slippery terrain or rocks, these things are a must-have. You don't have to spend a ton of money. You can get a really good quality pair for $100 or less. All right, sleep systems. So before I dive into this, there are 3 things that will make or break your backpacking trip: your sleep system, your boots, and your pack. So this is the pack I'm working with. This is the KUIU Ultra 7000. This is the 3rd pack I've hunted with. If you want to see more about that, we posted a video with some pack reviews and I talk more about it, so I won't get too much into your pack, but your pack is crucial. It has to fit you right. There has to be a good balance of weight. So go back and check out those videos and we'll tell you more about it there. Your sleep system. Now, everybody's different. I'm a big guy, so I ran into a lot of trouble with sleeping bags. They would always bind up around my shoulders. I couldn't zip them up all the way. I just kind of felt like too constricted. So what I did is I went and got myself a quilt. Now, this probably looks bulky. However, this thing will compress down to the size of a softball. It's extremely light. This is a Zen Bivy quilt, extra large. This quilt will wrap around your sleeping pad, so your sleeping pad doesn't slide around. If you're like me and you've been on a sleeping pad with no attachment between your bag and your pad, you're always sliding off your pad. You wake up in the middle of the night and your pad's on one side of the tent and you're on the other. It drives me crazy. So that's another thing I like about having a quilt. There's little toggle elastic attachments where your pad will be essentially one unit with your quilt. So from the bottom up, I use an air pad. Now when I first started hunting, I used a foam roll pad and it was extremely uncomfortable. So I upgraded to this Climate. There's a lot of good air pads out there. The Climate is not the only one. I just have had good success with this. Like I said, I'm a big guy, but when I'm sleeping on this pad, I don't touch the ground. And I've never had problems with it leaking. It's never popped. This will be my 2nd season using this pad. Now, on top of my sleeping pad, I'll put this sheet. It's also a Climate. And in the top of the sheet, you'll see a pocket up here. And in that pocket, I have this pillow. So the whole thing only weighs a couple of pounds, and that's my whole sleep system with my quilt. Now, my tent. Now, this tent in particular weighs over 5 pounds. It's really heavy as far as one-man tents go. In fact, it's a 2-man tent. So eventually I'll upgrade and get myself a larger 1-person tent. Like I said, I'm a big guy, so I like having a little more space. So a tent is something that can soak up a lot of weight in your pack. So just be mindful when you're out shopping for tents. You can spend $600 on an ultralight 1-person tent, but you don't have to. If you're just starting out, you're on a budget, you can find a good 1-man tent Keep it under 3.5 pounds, and you'll do just fine with that. All right, next you have your glassing system. The glassing system will vary based on your own personal preferences. You don't have to use a spotting scope. This is another item that will soak up a lot of weight in your pack, but I do highly recommend you carry a tripod. You can go to Walmart and get a cheap plastic tripod that's really light. Probably not gonna last you very long, but it'll do the job. When you're glassing for long periods of time and you don't have something to keep your binoculars or your spotting scope stable, you're not gonna see as much, you're not gonna see as far, and you may miss out on that deer. This is my Bino Harness. Like I said, I like to keep my license and tag in one of my side pockets in the Bino Harness. I also keep my wind tester chalk in the top pocket. Then in the front pocket, my rangefinder. A rangefinder is a really, really important piece of equipment. There are a few items that you buy that you're gonna wanna invest money in to get a quality product. Your glassing system, your pack, your boots, those are quality items that you need to spend some money on. This is a Vortex Ranger 1300, and I've had good success with it. It's never failed me. Go to Walmart and get yourself a little medical eye patch. 5 minutes trying to look through one of these and squint with one eye closed, you're gonna have muscle fatigue, eye fatigue, you're gonna get blurred vision in your off eye. With this eye patch, you got a foam ring, it's comfortable. You can keep both eyes open while you're glassing. It'll save you a lot of pain and suffering in the field, and it's only like $2. Food and hydration. So a good rule of thumb, and this will be different from person to person, but a general rule of thumb is 3,000 calories a day when you're in the field. Now, what I like to do is pack calorie dense but still light foods. So things like peanut butter, they're very calorie dense, but you can get a good dose of calories in a small package. And of course your freeze-dried meals, a lot of companies make these now. It's not just Mountain House. So you have a lot of variety out there. They taste pretty good, all things considered. I like to use a jet boil for my stove. It's really light, boil your water in 90 seconds. It's great. It's a self-contained system. So my entire stove is right here. You're gonna have your fuel for your stove. I like to bring a mug with me, so for my coffee, for hot chocolate, whatever I want to bring in the field. It's extremely light. Now I like to bring a few creature comforts when it comes to eating utensils. I have my long spork here. It's great for sticking in these bags and stirring things up. You want a longer stem for that. It's very light. I also have a bowl for oatmeal or top ramen, things like that. Again, these are really lightweight. I bought these all at REI for relatively cheap. Now when you're in the backcountry, a little bit of variety will go a long way in terms of your food. So don't just buy a whole bunch of Mountain House or freeze-dried meals and stick to that. Break it up. Bring some oatmeal packets, bring some top ramen, bring some hot chocolate. It's light, it's not gonna take up too much space, and it'll mix up your diet, and you'll be glad you did. Hydration. I have my little Hydra pack. It's a 3-liter bottle, soft-sided, folds up into this very small container. It's the size of the palm of my hand. It's very light. So when I'm stocking up on water, I'll fill this thing up on top of my water bladder. This is a 3-liter bladder, so I can get about 6 liters of water when I fill up just between these two things right here. I will also bring at least 1 half-liter bottle full of water. The reason I do this is so I can use these hydration packets or water flavor packets. These are really nice because if you're out in the backcountry for multiple days, you're gonna get sick of drinking just water all day long. It's nice to throw some flavor in your water, and you can also get your vitamins, some energy. There's a lot of things you can do, BCAAs, things for recovery. They're nice to have in the field. Finally, water filtration. Now this unit is about 4 years old. You can definitely get a smaller, lighter unit, but I like this one because it works really fast. It pumps water going up and it pumps water going down. This is not the only unit out there. There's a lot of units. The Sawyer squeeze unit is really nice. It's super light. It's very small and it works great. I've used it before. This is my water filtration kit. Now, there's a lot of options out there when it comes to water filtration. You can definitely get a smaller and lighter unit than the one I have, but you have to bring one with you. Unless you want to pack all your water on your back, which is going to be really, really heavy, bring water filtration. And you don't want to get sick either. Just because a mountain stream is clear doesn't mean it's safe to drink. There's a lot of bacteria in there. You can get really sick in the backcountry. You definitely need proper water filtration. This is a kill kit. So when you harvest your animal in the field, there's a few essentials you're going to need. So of course I have my game bags. I have enough for 1.5 animals here, so it's 5 or 6 game bags. And then I have zip ties. These come in handy for like attaching your tag to your antler. I use an outdoor edge knife with replacement blades. I like to keep a razor sharp blade at all times. And last but not least, rubber gloves. This is nice for keeping things clean and sanitary. And all of this fits in this bag. It's compact. You have everything you need right here to break down your animal in the field. Of course, you want to bring a first aid kit with you. This is essential. Hopefully you never have to use it, but you always want to have it just in case. And I like to include a couple medicines, namely some ibuprofen. You're going to get sore, you're going to feel achy. And I also like to include a sleep aid. So an Advil PM is nice because you get the pain relief and the sleep aid at night. Sometimes if you're new to the backcountry, sometimes it can be difficult to fall asleep and stay asleep if you're not used to the silence. Might take a night or two to get used to it. The sleep aid really helps. For your toiletries, of course toilet paper, but definitely bring some biodegradable wipes with you. You want to stay clean as possible in the backcountry. And then deodorant, just use a non-scented or scent-killing deodorant, and your toothbrush and toothpaste. Pretty simple. Keep your toileting essentials on the outside of your pack, easy access. For obvious reasons, when nature calls, you don't want it to go to voicemail, and you'll be good to go. Now for my electronics, I like to keep it simple. I don't have any fancy GPSs or anything like that. I like to use my phone. It's just as good. I use the Onyx hunting app, and I bring a backup charger, a power bank. This will charge both my phone and my headlamp. So as far as lighting goes, I have my headlamp, and then I have a high-powered flashlight, which is pretty small and compact still, some backup batteries for the flashlight, a charge cord, and that's it. Pretty simple. Definitely want to recommend that you bring a backup battery for your rangefinder. So if you're out in the field, especially if you're archery hunting and your battery goes dead out in the field and you don't have a backup, you're in big trouble. Finally, something I recommend is just some rope or paracord. This is great for hanging your meat from a tree. If you want to hang some food, if you're in bear country, this is great for that as well. A good long length of rope, it could save you in a pinch. Clothing, I didn't put any clothing out here because it's a personal preference. I like to bring backup socks and underwear and just rewear my pants and shirt, my camo gear. If you're out in the backcountry for more than a day or two, you're going to want to change your socks and underwear. You can always wash them in a creek, hang them up to dry, and you have a backup pair. And it doesn't take up a lot of space or weight in your pack. There's also a few other items like a butt pad for when you're glassing. Those are things you might decide you need as you spend more time in the field. So that's it. That's all the gear that you'll need. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps. Get out there and spend some time. You'll find the things that work for you. If you have any questions, leave us a comment down below. Like the video, share the video. We really appreciate it. And I will also leave in the description of the video a whole list of everything I've talked about in this video. So if you want to go through and do some shopping and use that as a reference point, you're welcome to it. Thanks and good luck out there.